What's up, everyone? I'm Jenny.
And I'm Jessie.
You're listening to Milkshakes and Ghosts.
So I am all into the Christmas spirit since it is December. I have my Nightmare Before Christmas onesie on. If you're wondering why I have that, it is because our Christmas is going to be decorated the theme Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah, Christmas for us is the same as Halloween. There's just a tree, but all the ghosts stay up. It's so cool. We are not matching today, Jessie. I have on a Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer onesie. I need to buy another Nightmare Before Christmas outfit so that I can wear it too. Well, at least we'll have matching sweaters for Christmas. We did buy the whole household. Me, my husband, Jessie, and her two brothers, we all have Nightmare Before Christmas sweaters that we're wearing on Christmas for our party. It's going to be fun.
Anyway, what you drinking today?
Well, since you asked, I made a unique milkshake today.
What is it?
Caramel apple coffee pie.
That's really different. That sounds like so bad. I can't drink those. I actually hate coffee and pie.
I give you like 20 years before that mentality changes because our taste buds change when we grow. I used to not like coffee either when I was your age. That changed when I had kids. Caffeine became my friend.
Well, how'd you make it?
I actually took some leftover apple pie we had and then a half a cup of caramel, another half a cup of coffee, and then a whole cup of ice. I blended it all together and then topped it off with some whipped cream. It's pretty good. I'm loving this and I feel very awake right now.
That's nasty.
It's delicious.
Ugh, you and your coffee. The milkshake would have been fine if you had left out the coffee.
The coffee is the most important part, Jessie.
Says you, not anyone else.
Says everyone who's an adult and loves coffee and has kids, by the way, because you need coffee if you have kids.
Did you get that recipe online?
Nope. I came up with this recipe all by myself.
That makes sense. You always have coffee in your milkshakes. But how did you come up with the idea, though?
Well, I had some leftover apple pie and I wanted a slice, but I wanted to have it with my coffee. Since we were podcasting and I didn't have time to eat the pie, I just decided to mix everything together in a blender. That way I get my coffee and my pie.
You could have just ate it after.
I couldn't wait.
That really sounds like a disaster for your stomach. Later on. Ouch.
Well, maybe, but it tastes good going down, so that's all that matters.
Okay, I'm not gonna say I told you so when you're having a tummy ache later on.
Enough about my milkshake. So what are you drinking, Jessie?
Okay, maybe I can't be talking because I'm definitely gonna have a stomachache after this. I'm drinking an Oreo peppermint milkshake.
You're sitting here talking about my tummy aches when your milkshake is just as bad. Girl, please.
It's not gonna be as bad as yours. I don't think I'm gonna make this again.
Then it does taste bad, right? Because if you're only going to make it once, I would assume that means it doesn't taste that great.
Yeah, it kind of is bad. I should not have made this, but the reason why it's bad, it's really, really minty. The Oreo would have just been like Oreo cream and like some ice cream. That would have been way better.
How'd you come up with the recipe? Did you get yours online?
I came up with the idea on my own. I had some dairy-free Oreos with dairy-free chocolate ice cream, and I threw in some candy canes.
Wait. You threw in a candy cane. Again? Jessie!
Sorry, Mama. I couldn't help myself. I honestly just wanted to see what it would taste like when I got done, so.
We had this conversation 2 podcast episodes ago. You should not put candy canes into the blender. Remember me telling you that?
I just like watching the blender chop it up.
The blender is going to break, Jessie, and then there'll be no more milkshakes.
I promise I won't do it again. You have my word.
I hope so. I really like our blender.
I need to tell you something.
Yeah?
Actually, I'm gonna start making the milkshakes again with the candy canes because I know what I'm gonna do.
Break the blender? That's what it sounds like?
No, I'm gonna put the candy cane in a Ziploc bag and then I'm going to smash it into little tiny pieces and throw it in.
Okay. All right. I'm not in disagreement with that. That sounds like a much better idea.
Anyway, with Christmas around the corner, I've got a spooky Christmas tale for you today. It is, dun dun dun, drum roll please! The Legend of the Mistletoe Bride. A terrible tale of bride and seek. And you heard me right, I did say bride, not hide.
I've never heard about this before.
Well, Mom, you're in for a treat. Grab your favorite milkshake and hold on to your blankie. Be wary, it's about to get scary. The legend of the Mistletoe Bride has been retold for centuries and has taken many forms. While the story's true origin is difficult to determine, many have come to believe its roots are in the disappearance of Lord Lavel's bride at the Bramshill House in Hampshire, England. Now, let me take you back in time where it all began. It's Christmas Day, 1830, at Bramshill House. Laughter and applause could be heard throughout the home. While there is a celebration, it's not for Christmas. A wedding has just taken place. The wedding of Anne Cope. Anne decided she wanted the wedding festivities to be remembered by their guests. She proposed a simple game of wits.
Allow me 5 minutes to find a place to conceal myself,
Instructed Anne.
Your task is to seek me. The spoils of victory go to the one who finds me.
The guests were excited to play, and so was Anne's husband. 5 minutes to hide in a grand home. Anne was determined to find the best hiding place, somewhere unexpected. Anne clambers up the grand stairs of the manor, gliding through the corridors and rooms, climbing higher and higher until she finds herself in the attic. She makes her way to a large wooden chest.
No one would ever think to look in the attic or in the chest.
She opened the chest. It was empty. With excitement, she carefully lowered herself in the chest, careful to keep her bouquet of mistletoe intact. She closed the trunk. Minutes tick away, and no one finds her. Eager to return to her guest and husband, Anne pushes her hand on the lid to open the chest, but it remained closed. Panic begins to set in. She pounds her fist on the lid. Her palms and knuckles began to bruise and bleed. Her screams become desperate and primal as her throat opens and closes from the tears streaming down her face. Any scream she makes is muffled by the screams of her guest calling out to her. The night turns into day, but there is still no appearance of the bride. Her husband stayed all night looking for her. Anne also stayed awake, trapped in the trunk. Her dress was stained with blood from broken skin and broken nails. Her vocal cords were destroyed by hours of screaming. As days went by, she soon realized that the chest was her coffin. Days turn into weeks. Weeks turn into months. Months turn into a year. Then a decade. Friends and family have long dismissed Anne Cope's disappearance. They believe she ran away from her husband to avoid a married life and the responsibilities that came with it. As for Anne's husband, he never remarried, and he never stopped searching for her. He stayed in that house, desperate to find a clue as to where she was. 50 years pass. The husband is now gray and old. One night, he finds himself in the attic. He sees the chest and lifts the lid open. Instantly, the man's face becomes filled with horror. Inside the chest, he finds the skeletal remains of a bride clutching a bundle of mistletoe.
Oh my goodness! That is completely horrifying.
The story of the Mistletoe Bride has caught a lot of attention from people with vivid imaginations. Several great country houses, some now gone, laid claim to be the location, some of them reckoning that they still possess the actual trunk.
So, is this story really true?
Honestly, after doing all this research, it's kind of hard to say if it's 100% true. There's some evidence that it's based on similar stories from mainland. One of the best known of these is an Italian story about a bride called Geneva, but that's all really I could find.
Real or not, that is still horrifying.
Yeah, it sure is a real Christmas treat.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
Christmas time isn't just a time to focus on gifts and Santa Claus. It was known throughout the Norse Gallic and Britain countries of Northern Europe that the time of the winter solstice, which we now call Christmas, was when spirits roamed the earth. It was the darkest time of the year.
A lot of people don't realize that about Christmas. The history of Christmas is dark.
Definitely not what is known for today.
Oh, that's okay. I don't mind getting gifts on Christmas, but let's keep the new tradition going.
Now, are you ready for my Christmas haunted tale?
Absolutely.
Grab onto your seats. It's about to get spooky. I will be discussing one of the most haunted houses found in England and the various ghouls, ghosts, and Christmas apparitions that have stalked this property grounds since the late 1500s. Roos Hall was built in the 13th century. The hall is a Tudor-style building with a red brick facade. In 1583, the house was established by the family of de Roos. The de Roos allegedly have ties to the Knights Templar, an order to devout Christians. This family was also said to have cursed treasure. The Roos Hall later passed ownership to the Suckling family in the 1600s. In 1906, a local newspaper reported apparitions witnessed by two laborers. More testimonies and eyewitness accounts were brought forth through the years. Now that I've given you a brief rundown on the history of Roos Hall, it's time to get into the haunts.
Exactly what I've been waiting for.
No one knows who, and no one knows why, but there is a headless horseman that haunts the grounds of Roos Hall. Rather than Father Christmas and a reindeer-driven sleigh, this headless horseman with his ghostly carriage stops at Roos Hall every Christmas Eve. As the spectral coach reaches the door, it stops and a beautiful woman steps out of the coach. But those who are drawn to her beauty would do well to look away. It is said that if you look into her eyes, you will be driven to madness or instant death. Roos Hall is known to be full of mysteries and ghosts.
There's more ghosts besides the Headless Horseman?
Much more, Jessie.
This story is getting good.
There is a large oak tree on the ground of Roos Hall. It is believed that a gibbet used to hang where the tree now stands.
What's a gibbet?
A gibbet is a small cage that a prisoner would be kept in. They would be left to die to the elements. More often than not, they were left for the birds to feast on. This form of punishment, torture, and execution hasn't been used in more than 2 centuries.
That is horrible. No wonder why this place is haunted.
It's believed that this gibbet has sentenced hundreds to their agonizing death. Once the oak tree was planted and fully grown, it was used for hangings. Stories tell that sometimes at night, a woman in white can be seen near the oak tree, circling it.
I swear there's always a woman in white in every story we do.
There really is. Almost every ghost story has something to do with a woman wearing all white. Now, Inside the manure is the apparition of a young girl whose face can be seen at times from one of the first floor windows. Like the horseman, no one knows how this little ghost girl came to be. People also claim to periodically see a hoof print inside the manure. Some say it's the devil's footprint.
That is super scary.
And that, to all you milkshake drinkers and ghost enthusiasts, is my spooky story of ghouls, ghosts, and demons of Roos Hall.
That was a very spooky and cool story.
Now, Jesse, would you want to visit this place in the near future?
Oh, yes. I would love to go to Roost Hall. It sounds really cool, and I'd probably investigate with some AMF detectors and cat balls.
We are definitely putting that on our to-do list. I definitely want to visit this place and go on a ghostly adventure with you, especially on Christmas Eve. What?
I know. Imagine if we went there on Christmas Eve. There's probably so much activity.
Imagine if we seen the Headless Horseman. How cool would that be?
I'm taking pictures. I'm recording. He probably won't come through, but I'm still going to record. We're going to see an orb. I swear.
We've caught a lot of orbs before on our ghost hunting journeys, and we've also caught voices, not even trying to. Half the time, when we capture something, we're honestly not trying to capture at the moment. It just happens. And then when we are trying to really investigate and get something on camera, or some kind of audio, it doesn't happen.
Yeah, I remember when we found an orb in our house. Whoa.
That we captured on camera, and that was honestly by accident. We were filming our dog Fancy running and playing, and then all of a sudden, this bright light came across the screen. And I stopped. And when I replayed it, it was an actual orb. It was very unexpected.
Yeah, we are skeptics though, so it could have been just like dust or just a bug flying.
Yeah, I mean, that was my first thought, was maybe it's a bug. We captured some really cool stuff too when we went to St. Augustine. All that's on our YouTube channel if any of you are interested on checking that out. We got orbs. We definitely got voices. Jesse, you remember the St. Augustine schoolhouse?
Yeah, I remember we caught a voice on camera, and at first I thought the voice was saying something, but then I started thinking of that song from Shakira that goes lole 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 lole. Can't you see I'm at your feet?
Copyright. Copyright. I'm looking at you like, don't say it. It's copyrighted. We are not trying to get shut down and copyrighted, Jesse. But yeah, I see what you're saying. The voice was singing, and there was no music playing up ahead, so I couldn't debunk that as much as I wanted to. We didn't hear it though when we were there. We didn't hear it until we played the video back, and we were like, oh my gosh, someone was singing to us.
Yeah, check it out on our YouTube channel. Our handle is at Milkshakes Ghost if you're ever interested in it.
After doing this episode, I'm just thinking, is Santa really going to come on Christmas, or are we going to get something else with all the spooky stuff we do?
Yeah, as much I would love to see old jolly Saint Nick deliver some presents, I wouldn't mind going ghost hunting.
Huh. That actually doesn't sound like a bad idea for Christmas. You know? So yeah, we should do that. I mean, you see Santa Claus all the time anyways.
Yeah, Santa Claus is really my father.
Facts. How old were you, Jesse, when you realized your dad dressed up as Santa every year?
I was sick.
For those of you who are wondering, my husband Teddy, which is Jesse's dad, dresses up as Santa every year, and I dress up as an elf. We like doing this for the kids in our family, so we invite everyone over. We have this big Christmas party, and we give out gifts to all the family members. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, most of the kids now, the smaller ones, are at the age where they realize that their uncle slash my husband Teddy is really Santa. So it's kind of funny when he comes out now. They're all like, oh, it's uncle. It's funny.
Yeah, I remember when I was below the age of 6, the two of you would make Christmas like magical every year. Like, I don't care how old I get. Like, don't ever stop celebrating Christmas the way we do. It's magical, and it reminds me of Harry Potter when they had Christmas, because I love that movie. I mean, all of them.
Aw, that's really sweet. Wow, I'm really in awe that you said that. That touches my heart. I'm glad you love our Christmas traditions. I'm going to keep it going every year, no matter how old I get. So I'm glad we can do this and make it magical for you every year.
Love you.
Love you too, Jessie. You're so sweet.
And we love all of you listening to us. I'm so happy we are finally in season 3, and I'm so happy you guys came along with us without letting go.
Thank you guys so much. You rock for those of you who are still with us after 3 seasons of listening to us talk about ghosts and banter and talk about our milkshakes. We love you guys. You're awesome. And we'll continue to do this. This is fun. We love drinking milkshakes and we love talking about ghosts. It's not going to stop. We're going to keep this going.
Yeah, guys, we finally beat Teddy and Jenny's podcast because we were on season 3. They stopped at
No, not yet. We stopped at season 4 and we stopped for you, Jessie. We stopped for you. I could not juggle this. Well, I might be able to get back to it because now we have Jack, our new assistant. So maybe he could help me with that podcast too. We'll see. But all right, stop looking at me like that. Don't give me that death stare.
I want to have more episodes than you. I have more viewers than you. They like me more than you.
Because you're so wickedly adorable. I will do my best to make everything happen for you. I love you. So that's what I do. I'm mom. Why are you looking at me like that?
What do you mean wickedly? Wickedly adorable.
That was a compliment. Kind of, sort of. Compliment.
Kinda, sorta. Okay, whatever. Anyway, if you would like to follow our socials, we're on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Threads, Twitter, and Patreon. Please subscribe to our socials. We're trying to grow them, especially our YouTube. Our YouTube page is at Milkshakes Ghost.
She's laughing because we could hear our dog Cooper crying from outside the pod lab. I don't know if that's going to be on our audio, but he is crying because he wants to get in, and we are closed in the pod lab with the door shut.
He's like an opera singer, I swear, in his past life.
If you guys would like to become a Patreon member, please visit patreon.com/milkshakes and ghosts. I will link it in the show notes along with all of our other socials.
Yeah, and also join Patreon for free monthly gifts and cool perks.
Let's give a shout out to our awesome, amazing Patreon members. Mr. E from Special Delivery Show. Check out the Special Delivery Show. His podcast takes interviews to a whole new level. I'd like to give a big shout out to Pods R Us. Pods R Us is a digital creator. They post weekly updated top 10 best podcasts to listen to. Let Pods R Us help you find your next podcast. I will link their Instagram in our show notes.
M&G VIP members also include Supernatural Magic 2010, Witches for Life 1892, Bigfoot is Real 76, Bloodsucker 95, Nightmares 888, Witchy Talk 65, Dracula Rocks 22, Tina and Ruben, Legend, United We Stand, Ramos 1972, Marie, Mary Ann, The Paranormal Duo, Laura and Joanne, Bruce the All Spooky, Harmony, Joan of Arc, The Dark Side, Ronald H., Joe Santana, Myra Morales from That's So Spooky, Jada Kimar H., Tony S., Jean from The Truth Is Out There, Nadia and Edward, Carl and Becca, Mandy and Kenneth, Jules and Christina, Joel from The Paranormal Countdown, Alan, Death Star 1, PR Princess, Maxine, Terror Screams, Jules M., Victor and Myra, Haunted Canadian History, Melissa and Dan.
Thank you all so much for being Patreon members. We appreciate each and every single one of you.
And remember, keep drinking milkshake.
And keep being
Spooky!
It's time for bloopers!
Did you have sugar?
No.
What's
Singing a song.
What's going on?
If the world was ending, I wanna be next to you.
I'm looking at you trying to podcast, and you're sitting there singing in your seat.
But look, look. Wait.